I never realized until people pointed out to me that I write so much about dreams and that there is this sort of like in and out of reality quality really in all of my books. It shows up in all of my books. And I know earlier I said that I was fascinated by the idea of what's real and what's illusion. But yeah, I think also like when are we awake, when are we asleep? To me, it has always felt very porous. And I am a sort of, I think, probably dreamy person. I don't mean like, oh, that lip of prey, heart. I just mean like, I'm always sort of in my own head in a way. And I was always I was a big daydreamer and doodler. And so I think, again, it's that sort of chaotic, roaming mind. There is, and in fact, I'm giving a roaming answer, but I swear it's going to come back to one, just like in jazz. There's an anime, manga anime that I love called Attack on Titan, and it is phenomenal. It feels Shakespearean to me. And in it, it's really gruesome in many ways because there are these huge, these huge giants, and they attack the villages and they eat people, and it's heartbreaking. But the characters, so in the midst of all this action, the characters will stop and have these soliloquies about what it is to be human. And it's beautiful. I mean, it's philosophical in the midst of all this carnage. Like, what is it to be human, and why do we go on? I mean, it's like Beckett. It's amazing. And I love things like that. I have always loved, and maybe also because I came up in theater where, it's a stage, and life is a stage. And so this idea that things are often presentational and what is real, I mean, even with social media, that's performative. So is that real, or is that performative, or is it both? We live in a country that takes as its sort of, in a way, as its underpinning the idea of the American dream. But we know that is a myth, so we're raised on myths as well. We have this sort of, a lot of these narratives are a false inheritance. And so again, it gets back to the questioning. What is real? What is not real? But I also am fascinated, I think, by what dreams tell us. I have spent many years in psychoanalysis. Probably some people are saying, not enough, go back. But there's a lot of interpreting of dreams and what that has to say about ourselves, like what primal things are coming up, what things from our childhood are coming up in our dreams, what fears and anxieties. I mean, it's a rich wonderland to explore. So when Henry is walking through the dream world in Lair of Dreams, he sees his father, and his father gets bigger and bigger. Well, that's symbolic. And I think maybe also because I grew up as the daughter of a minister and an English teacher, I always say that my first language was symbolism. So I'm trained to see the world in terms of symbols, which is great if you want to talk about literature, and not so useful if you want to make toast. Like I have tried to explain to this piece of bread about man versus nature, and yet still it will not toast. Why? Why bread? So, I think that's part of it too, is that was part of my language, was just to see things in a dreamlike way. I like things that are not spelled out, but that have been outlined in such a way that it leaves lots of room for the reader to have his or her own interpretations. Dreams are just rich for that.